As I already discussed about the topic, so Lauren will start the presentation and then I would take over in middle. So Lauren, it's over to you now.
Okay, thank you so much, Varun. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Great. Okay, so this webinar is about helping you increase your leads and revenue online. And of course, this is because Spokes Digital, we're dedicated to cannabis, hemp, and the CBD industry for over 3 years now. We've tried to make these presentations with a bent towards our industry expertise. And this week, we're focusing on the organic media. The next presentation will focus on the leads and revenue generation from the paid ads. So as you all know, we start our presentations off with a quote. And here's Bruce Springsteen. And I really like that we picked this quote because I'm from New Jersey. I know Bruce Springsteen is from New Jersey as well. So his quote here says, "Getting an audience is hard, and sustaining," the tagline is "sustaining an audience is hard." So, your audience is your online audience. So you can bring them in, but keeping them and getting them to return to your website again and again is the challenge. And here we have some statistics that we always like to put in as part of our presentations. So some of the stats that I want to point out to you said 80% of the new leads never translate into sales. So people are coming in, they're seeing your website, and they might be looking around, but they're not buying anything. And 74% of companies say that converting leads into customers is their top priority. So I would think everyone on this call, that's certainly they're within that 74% of wanting to get their leads converted to buy something. Companies that excel at lead nurturing generate 50% more sales-ready leads at a 33% lower cost. So looking at generating those leads and being cost efficient about that. And the final stat that I want to point out to you is the content marketing. 93% of B2B companies say that content marketing generates more leads than traditional marketing strategies. So we did have a webinar about content marketing, and it's very important knowing the information that your customers are looking for to have that ready on your website for them. Now we're going to get into the agenda. I'll talk to the first couple of bullet points here, the first agenda items, and then I'll turn it over to Varun. And Varun usually has a lot of examples from clients and also other relevant examples. So I'll start off with ways to increase your website's visibility and revenue. So first you want to make sure that you're targeting topics that the search traffic has potential for, that people are interested in. So the key here is that as long as your website has a high rank, high Google rank, then users are coming in and they're searching on keywords or they're doing a voice search. And if you have a high rank in the search from a Google perspective, then you will come up on the SERP pages. So 2 quick ways to get started with high visibility are finding those high volume keywords that have low competition. So that can be kind of tricky. And then also a way to do that is to use the Content Explorer hack, which we'll show on the next slide. So using the Content Explorer hack, basically this is a tool, and the photo here on the right is for a tool by Ahrefs. It's a traffic filter tool. And basically what that does is it searches your website and finds the keywords, just similar to how Google would do that or another search engine. So what you want to do is you want to find the low-hanging content. So what it says is, want to find kind of two things: referring domains that have rank of less than 5, and organic traffic filter of more than 1,000. Another way to increase your visibility is to write guest posts. So going into another website that has relevant or complementary content as yours, and go in and write a post and ask if you can link to your website, whether it's within the post or backlink to your website. So that's a way of getting referral traffic and hopefully boosting the other person's website as well as your own. Another way that we talk about here is to promote the content in relevant online communities. So there's a lot of opportunities for that around Facebook groups, Reddit, many forums that are out there. So find communities that are relevant to your products and establish your authority there in those communities. Being an authority on the web is very important, and Google and other search engines really respect that authority. So here's another way to increase your authority, is answering questions on Quora. So going to the Quora site and again, expressing your authority, that you know about products that people are asking about, whether it's a product or an issue, pain relief, things like that. So that's another opportunity to boost your visibility. Another idea to increase your visibility is appear on podcasts. So you can create your own podcasts. That's a lot of work. So another way that we recommend to do that is to go on other podcasts as a guest. So look at, find other podcasts where people might want to host you. They might be interested in cannabis or your CBD products, and try to get those connections. Another idea to increase your visibility online is to collaborate with other brands. And what you want to be careful of here is that you're collaborating with brands that either have a different problem or they're solving the same problem in a different way. So it's not a competitive situation, it's like a cooperative situation where you would collaborate with the other brand and tap into similar audiences. The videos, the YouTube videos, or any type of videos are very popular now. So you can see here on the right, this is a client that has a YouTube video, and we were able to promote that. So what's important with the videos, I mean, people are looking for instruction and education. So this is something that is very effective for increasing your visibility. So if you look at the list there, you definitely do want to do keyword research, identify the search intent. So all of those things to make sure that the content that's in your video is also pointed out in the writing on the right, the little description of your video. Updating outdated content. I really like this one. So basically what this is taking, let's say you're a great blogger, and maybe some of the keywords have changed over time, the top keywords. So if you have some blogs on your website, you can actually refresh those and refresh the blogs or even your photos to make them more relevant. Another way to increase your visibility online is to merge similar posts. So this is really a good way to increase your authority. Again, I had spoken about the authority before, that Google really looks for that you're, you know a lot about the subject, you know a lot about your product, you know a lot about what it does and what people are looking for with your product. So merging the blogs allows you to increase your authority. We call it the cocktail technique, where you mix two. The one thing I want to point out here is the 301 directs. When you merge content on your website, you want to make sure that there's no links that are dead ends. So that's where the 301 redirects come in. Now we're going to a checklist of website optimization. And again, this is from the search engine optimization perspective, or organic traffic. So here you want to make sure that you're using concise page titles and H1 tags. These are the things that Google really searches around your website. They search on the page titles and the H1 tags. So you want to make sure that you're getting all of the keywords in, but you're also expressing exactly what you want the customer to see. So it has to be concise. So you're going to spend a lot of time really getting those H1 tags and the page titles crisp, I'll call it. So the next checklist is using description and SEO friendly URLs. So here's the point here, is that the search engines look for the keywords in your URLs. So when you're even creating a URL, you want to be mindful of the primary keywords and make sure that they are within the URL. Be cautious of keyword placements. So a few things to say about keywords. You want to make sure that you capture the keywords early on in the content. So you want to have those keywords in the title, you want to have them in the first or second sentence, and you want to repeat those keywords only about 2 or 3 times in 100 words. Promoting good user experience. So this is key. This is really getting down to the details. So you want the users to have a very good experience of, they're able to find the information that they're looking for very quickly. And when they're ready to buy, they want them to have as few clicks as possible to get to the cart, to the cart to finally buy. The other thing that I want to say here about the loading speed, if your website is slow, that's going to discourage people from staying there. So we're going to talk more about the loading speed. Here's another good trick, placing internal links in your content. And think about this as like when I know when I was a little kid, you go to, walk in the woods, and they say, leave a trail so you know how to get out. So this is basically, peppering your website with internal links. So the customer leaves a trail of where they were, but they're able to navigate through your website with those internal links. Providing external and outbound links. These are important, especially for the ranking, the Google ranking. But the key thing that Varun is pointing out here, and I want to make sure to emphasize here, is that when you do link to another website, you want to link to a website that has the same domain authority as you or higher, because Google takes a look at that, and that will, if you're hanging, so to speak, you're hanging out with the wrong crowd, Google's going to, not look favorable on that. So you want to backlink with websites that have same or better domain authority as yours. Spreading secondary, or we call them LSI keywords. So the LSI keywords are kind of like, I'll call them a secondary keyword or a semantic to the primary. So Google does look for those and recognize those within your content. Do you want to say anything more about that, Varun?
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, there's an example that we have shown on the right side, and it says like somebody searching for CBD gummies, and there's a list below that is like a LSI keyword. So Google would also consider all the keywords that have CBD gummies, but they are also having an intent of the buyer. Maybe somebody is searching for sleep or pain, benefits, doses, anxiety. So it's like automated results that Google will suggest in that way. So these are LSI keywords we should always try to use on our content so that Google suggests our pages as well.
Right. So a strong call to action. This is really important. We all know the buy now button as a call to action. In this example, we're showing contact us, right? If you have a customer has a question or they want to know where you're located, they'll click on the contact us. But it's very important to have the specific call to action. And Varun is showing there, for example, it's at a 20% off. If you give your information, collect an email address, and then they can be on the newsletter. And also, this is really important for customers who want information and education, so that you can push that information to them once they sign up with their email address. The proper schema markup. This is very important from perspective of Google and the search engines recognizing you. So the schema is basically like a map of the site and how the search engines will grab the information that's on your site. So if you look at the schema.org, that's kind of, the best way for me to say that is kind of like the industry standards for schema markups, where Google and Bing and Yandex and Yahoo got together and created, I'll say, kind of the standards for schema markup. So tracking and targeting the right keywords. This is, I don't know if I emphasize how important it is, the keywords that your users are looking for, and knowing which ones those are. So there's ways that you can find the the keywords, those primary ones, with the best topics, and the tools, the Google Keyword Planner. You can use the keyword tool. SEMrush has a keyword tool as well, and the Longtail Pro. So the keywords are the most important thing that you should be focusing on from my experience. Anything else you want to say with
Yeah,
this?
absolutely, Lauren. So you're right. So I think we have talked about this in the last webinar as well, because when we are researching for the right keywords, the long tail keywords and the low competition keywords are the, I will say, the first category of keywords that should be targeted. So when we go to the SEMrush or any keyword planner tool, we can always find that which are the keywords that have good search volume but are low competition and are also long tail, and then take them on the primary list, and then rest of them should be taken into the secondary list on a medium tail, and then third list would be like a short tail. So I think that's something we should do on researching the right keywords. And if someone wants more information, there is a webinar that we have done in past, and maybe you can look at that webinar and find more information on this.
Yes. So avoiding keyword cannibalization. This is when you basically are putting too many keywords on different pages of your website. So the search engines get confused as to where to bring the users. And the result of that is that the search engines don't bring the users to your website at all. So you want to be really careful about the placement of your keywords from page to page of your website. Satisfy search intent. So that's, what is the search intent of the users? So every user is going to come in with, typically different and maybe a combination of intents. They're looking for information or education, how-to guide on what are the benefits of the CBD tincture, for example. Are they looking to come in and purchase something? So that would be transactional intent. And again, from the consumer perspective, trying to foresee what they're looking for and making sure that you have those primary keywords available for the search engines. Comparisons, and also navigational. Optimizing the voice searches. So actually our last webinar, we spoke a lot about the voice searching, how that's really we've seen an uptick in voice search in 2020, and it's only going to get more important. And because of people with at-home devices, but primarily with the cell phones and the mobile phones, they might be driving and looking for a product, so they'll use the voice search to look for something online. So you want to make sure that your website is also mobile friendly. And optimizing for the featured snippets. Again, I'm going to refer you to last time's webinar. We talked about the snippets in the voice search. So I'll just explain briefly. The snippets are typically for question keywords, when somebody comes in and says, how do I use a vape? So that's the question that they're asking. And then the search engine will find a snippet of where someone on their website, explained how to use a vape. And typically there'll be either a small paragraph, or it might be a table of data. That's what a snippet is. So you want to make sure that you have information or content on your website that is like, like a snippet that Google will grab it, will want to grab it.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the last webinar, we talked about it, like having a FAQ section on the website is very important. And these FAQ sections basically have all those maybe question-based search terms, like how to relieve, so on maybe period cramps fast, how long are edibles to kick in. So all these are the ones who are like question-based search queries. And having a FAQ section on the website would help you to rank on feature snippets.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Other items on the checklist: improve your page loading speed to 3 seconds. And this was back in the mention about, you want to have, when a user comes to your site, they want to see the information right away. They don't want to be waiting, 6 or 8 or 10 seconds. So make sure that your website is, the loading speed is very quick, as well as mobile friendly, because more and more people are using the mobile all the time. Next on the checklist is add social sharing button. So this is something that would seem obvious, but it's worth mentioning. So if you look at that photo there, the screenshot, it links this blog to Facebook and LinkedIn and an email. And then also placing reviews and comments section on your website. This is one that I really like, because you can have a customer come in and make some comments, and they may use the word cannabis or CBD, and in the comments section, that's not an area of your website that Google is going to search as much as the rest of it, in terms of dinging or banning the content that's there. Now Varun is going to talk about lead generation strategies from each marketing funnel perspective.
Yeah, thank you, Lauren. So the next part of the webinar is focused more on the strategies for lead generation, and then how can we use the triggers to earn visitors' trust, and then how can we track those leads that we generate from the website, and then we'll talk about the like tools and the KPIs that are there. So we can see lead gen strategies for each part of the marketing funnel. So basically, there are three stages when we talk about content marketing funnel, or when we talk about the visitors. So there's a discovery. Discovery means there are discovery search terms when a user is searching for the search terms on discovery, like brand or product that we are selling. So we have to understand that what are the discovery keywords, and creating content around that so that we can rank on that. And when that rank is coming, and we are able to rank on some keywords, there is a phase where users look into the search engine results and they click on it. It's like a consideration phase, and they go to the website, they browse, and then as the next phase is like purchase, when the prospects gather information from the pages that we are showing up, and they finally buy and become a customer. This is an example from one of the client, like how users are going through the whole website. So some people drop on the discovery phase itself when they come to the learn to the website. Maybe for example, 7,000 people landed on the website. Out of that, possibly only few of them went further. You can say like overall, if you look at the overall scenario, like 6.3k people went to the shop page. It's the first interaction, and out of that, like if you can see, there's a lot of drop that has happened. And finally, there's a checkout page where 588 people went to check out of the 6,300 people who were in the shop. And then this is the overall conversion that website has seen. And then people go to more pages as well. So it's like there's you have to draw that funnel of your website and see like where the people are dropping, and at which phase you are seeing a lot of drop, and how you have to improve on those pages and those phases. Second strategy is the basically inbound marketing funnel. So creating the funnel is very important for inbound marketing. That is like this is basically how can you attract your prospects by showing that your brand is a solution that they're looking for, and grabbing the attention of the users, and then there is an opt-in for them to go to the website, and then engaging the users and is like a building the relationship with the users. And if they don't buy, maybe just re-engaging with them through retargeting, or maybe through email nurturing campaigns. That is also very important. And there's also for example, for e-commerce is an abandoned cart. So having an abandoned cart email set up to re-engage the users via some emails. We'll talk about the strategies in the next slides. Then delighting users. So once the engagement is established with the user, I think we need to delight the customers with our campaigns, and we'll talk about that in next slides as well. So these are the three stages where attract, engage, and delight. And what you have to do on these three stages is attracting via videos, attracting via infographics, and via checklists, and engaging users via blog posts, social media, white paper, ebooks, case studies, webinars, reviews and ratings, and emails, and delighting the customers via different marketing campaigns. That will be surveys, special offers, emails, and social media uh, as well. So let's talk about each and every in the next slides with the help of the case studies that we have pulled from our customers that we are working with right now. So this example for like how to attract the leads to the website via videos. So video optimization is a very good technique, as Lauren was talking about YouTube in the previous slides. So there is an opportunity for us to also optimize the videos on social channels like Instagram, and you can see that in this right side example is for one of our dispensary client we are working with, and they have posted a lot of videos on various topics that can be seen over here, like on National CBD Day. On then this is from the founders, and this from the Mollysens video from the skincare users. So we have different kind of videos that are put on the Instagram, and they correlate with the user problems, and they click on this and they watch that and become part of the overall family. You can see that we have like almost 27,000 followers, and that has been increased via using these attractive videos. Infographics is a very good way to organize the whole information in a single image, and it's a step-by-step process. For example, it's the best ways to administer CBD oil to your pet, and Google also gives priority to this kind of content because this is very concise information for a user, and Google really loves the information that is good for the users. Use infographics, and 65% of B2B marketers are using infographics for content marketing, and that is a very well method of attracting users. Then checklists. So checklist is a new technique in the 2020 for attracting the leads, and you can see that these checklists can be you can see here in the right side, like creating amazing content using the skyscraper technique that Lauren talked about in the previous slides. And Then it's like check your content to maximize readability, cover page the topics in depth, use schema markup. So it's like having a checklist is very important, and then working on that checklist so that users when come back to the website, they have a checklist. So the checklist is very important for any kind of a business. Maybe how to use CBD, there's a checklist of that, and you can give step-by-step process for that. Or maybe how to use the pain cream, how to use CBD for maybe pain. So there's a checklist for that. So creating the visual versions of those checklists is very, very helpful for the users and for the Google also. So So then next is like creating blog post is very important. Blog is the, I will say, content is the most important, I will say, thing in the SEO in 2020. And creating blog post helps users to get the information. And Lauren was also showing you in the previous slide that 70% of the search queries that happen are the informational. So that is very important to have blog posts that are informational, getting users there and then navigating them to the product pages. That would be the strategy to get the more sales and leads. There's social media. This is also one of the thing, like when you create a content, when you post something on the social media, this is a very interactive way of meeting your customers, and then you can immediately get a response on something that you are posting and use, and then you can use it uh, to judge the popularity of that content and we use it in the website. So that is something you can do to engage your prospects as well. Creating white papers and ebooks, that is also a good way, because a lot of people want to download the content and that can be used maybe later and they can read that also. Creating an ebook and white paper is also very important. And there's kind of longer form of content that requires expertise. So there's a methodology that we talked about in the last webinar, was like EAT and YMYL. So EAT is like something that is uh, engaging, attractive, and it's like having a very thoughtful content. And there's YMYL, it's like your money your life content. So if you have some expertise on some topic, creating white papers and ebooks would help you to get more users and leads on your website. Then a case study is a good important, I will say, it's a very very important thing to do. If you have like some expertise, as I talked about, like there's a YMYL kind of content, like your money your life. So it's like you are an expert in some field, and then you can create a case study that something that you did helped certain maybe segment of people, and then it can be a kind of a content that you can put on the website, and it will help you to get a lot of leads. Webinars. So webinars are also a good way, because uh, having workshop in real time, that is also, I will say, is not important nowadays. So it's very, it's not also possible to do it nowadays. So we can have the online seminars, maybe webinars, and that's like a good way to interact with your customers. If you have some kind of expertise, then you can talk about that, or you have some kind of maybe information to share, or product launches that you are have, then it will be a good way to engage. Ratings and reviews, creating that, maybe Google My Business has a good way. You can go there, maybe you can ask your current customers and maybe users to use your product, put a review on the Google My Business, and it will help you not only to get a traffic but also good credibility and domain authority by Google. Emails is also very important part of that. So like creating, engaging your prospects, for example, inviting them to be maybe how can probably they get a better sleep. There's an example for your client, and they can come over here, maybe just be click on it and maybe use that. Surveys are also important, maybe creating all side experience. So we can do different kind of surveys. Like it's like we can ask for users like how would you rate their experience, what can we do to improve the experience in that way. And it's like we can ask different questions, and these questions can help you to get more lot of answers from your customers to improve the UI and UX and the overall experience of the checkout process of the website. Special offers and loyalty programs are also important to have, and you just love it. And I think when we have it, maybe you will have customers who will be coming back to the website for the utilizing those loyalty points. Then it's like delighting customer, people who maybe have already made a purchase. You can send an emails regularly, and it's like giving them extra offers on their birthdays, and all that is also help to engage, and also to maybe increase the loyalty of the customers. Just like so this is very good way for us to work with the existing customers. Now we'll talk about how can we like credibility triggers to earn the trust. So The credibility can be triggered only by using the authentic images and providing social proof via testimonial. So there's a right side example is like there's a customer who is talking about that how using CBD has helped the customer to reduce the endometriosis pain. And there's a video that she has put up on the website on social media channels. So it helped us to gain a lot of visitors and also to gain the loyalty. And that is also a good way to gain a lot of I will say uh, Google's eyeballs, and then Google gives you credibility on using that content. Then providing social proof via media blogs. So again, you can see the, for example, this one of the client who was shown up on different channels like CBC, Yahoo. So we have put those logos over here. There's a backlink also, so it not only helps you to get the credibility, but also it improves your SEO because there's an outbound backlink that you get from these kind of channels, and it helps you to get a lot of users from these websites. So the next part is like how to track these leads and sales generated by your website. So the tools that we have, I think every one of us are using a lot of tools that are Google Analytics, Search Console, Google My Business, Keyword Planner, SEMrush, Ahref. So I think you can use the tools that are actually um, in hand and that are also will be free. So we can use free tools first. If you have much need, then you can go for the paid like SEMrush and Ahref. And these trackings should be around the KPIs that are there for the leads and sales. So when we talk about the organic maybe leads and sales, we always have KPIs like how many users have come from the organic source and medium, and then how many sessions have been generated by that source. What is the bounce rate of the users who are coming to the website? What is the every session duration of those users? How many transactions have been made? What is the rate of transaction for the e-commerce that we have? How many assisted conversions have come via this channel, that is organic media, or maybe a paid media or other, but we're talking about organic right now. Abandoned cart rate, like how many users have just went away from the cart? What is the add to cart rate? What is the buy to detail rate? So all these KPIs can be found on the analytics, and we can uh, track them regularly, and that will help us to track the performance of the website. So you can see in the next slide is a screenshot from one of our client, where we have that goal completion as like how many users are signing up on the newsletter. So we can see that, for example, 42,841 goals have completed in the month of August and September. We can see this 1 month period that we have taken, August 17 to September 17, and goal conversion rate is 92%. And this is something that we saw. And account signups are so these are goal two. So we have goal one as maybe subscribers, and goal two as people who are going to the maybe shop pages, or we can create a lot of goals in that way. And then we also goal three and goal four, goal five, goal six. So we have so many goals over here that can be tracked. So goal three was social completion, social sharing. Goal four was like add to cart. Goal five we had was proceed to checkout. Goal six was like people who completed the purchase, and we have seen that each stage has the goals that we have created, and we are tracking those leads in that way. We can see other KPIs that we are tracking for the customers is, for example, what is the source medium, which are the sources these users are coming from, what is the Google organic source, that is the number of users coming, and how much is the bounce rate, how many sessions are coming from which channels. And you can see the paid media as well from spokes PPCs or paid media campaigns. We also track like how long they are on a page, so we can see by source and medium. We can track the error session duration of those users by source. And that is also helpful for us to optimize maybe the content and the search queries on the channel basis. Maybe Google organic is having maybe highest error session duration, and that is a very I think positive indication of the success of the SEO campaign. And then the offers and the most exciting, which are most when we launch a lot of offers, a lot of coupons, we can track the performance of each and every coupon, and we can see the performance and see that have they worked or not. So there's a lot of sale and coupons and offers that we do, so we always track that, that which coupon is performing, which is the highest performing. We can see there's a sale of $400,000, so maybe time period of like the time period was same as like 17 of August 17 to September 17, and we can see that different coupon codes has different goal value, that is the revenue, and overall how they have performed. And we can also see that how many pages, how which pages are performing best in the website, and we can see by source and medium, and we can see Google Organic is on top in that way in terms of users and new users and sessions. So you can see that Google Organic is a very top performing medium, and landing pages that are being used by the users on those on the medium are like, for example, Shopkeeper. This is the maybe third highest used page on the website, and the traffic came via Google Organic, and it had a very low bounce rate of 0.61%. So this is a very important information for us to track, so that we can keep changing the keywords, search queries, the content, and also the offers around the brands and products that are most popular for us. So we also track like which are the top selling product brands. So this is for one of our customers. We can see top selling product brands we are tracking, so that we can launch the offers regularly, and we can also maybe do a lot of campaigns around those brands. Or maybe we like co-op. We can do the co-op campaigns with those brands. We can also see like top selling products. We can, for example, keep our top selling product for one of our customers. So these are the very important piece of information, so that we can not only focus on the products that are most selling, we can also use them to get the highest return on our I would say efforts that we are doing. Maybe we can focus the efforts of our team towards the products that are highest performing, and we can use that to create the content, search queries, and maybe then also get the content on social sharing. We can write the blogs. We can use all that information so that we can drive more leads and sales from our website. Then I think we most of the time a lot of people forget about this, the assisted sources. I think once the users come to the website, sometimes they bounce, or they maybe come back next time using other sources. So it is very important to see that which are the channels they're assisting. And for example, someone came from Google Organic first time, but they don't make a purchase, but next time he comes via maybe spokes campaign, or maybe clutch email campaign, and then he makes a purchase. So we can see that each channel has assisted so many conversions. Google Organic has assisted 220 assisted conversions, and the goal value was $24,000. And this is very important to track, so that we can understand that how each channel is assisting the other channels, and having offers across the channels is like having a 360-degree visibility of the same offers around this all across the channels is also very important, so that each channel can assist each other, and users don't get confused on the information that they're seeing on all the channels. So best practices for tracking and reporting. So this is the last slide, then we can go to the Q&A. So from our experience, we have seen that we can set up required KPI in the Data Studio, because Data Studio is a very, I think it's very is compatible with the analytics, and it also has a lot of templates in the analytics. So you just integrate that, set up the KPIs, and maybe track it on a weekly and monthly basis. Second part is like tracking codes should be on all the pages, so that you can track all the KPIs, and there should be a GTM for the website, because GTM is a single place for setting up all the codes, and it also helps you to reduce the load time. And integrating Search Console with analytics is also important, because you will get to know that which search queries are bringing the highest traffic. Either it is transactional, or it is informational, or navigational, so that you can write the content accordingly. And maybe you can also do the SEO on those search queries. Then enabling e-commerce tracking. A lot of websites generally don't track the revenue or don't track the transactions because the e-commerce tracking is not enabled. So it is all very important to do in the beginning itself, so that you can track the revenue and all transactions. And the benchmarks should be I think changed accordingly on a very regular basis, so that you can track the competition also, and you can also track your performance. And having top 5 KPIs on dashboard in analytics it's very easy to set up the dashboard. Doing that would help you to not only see that how are you doing, but will also help you to maybe improve your performance overall. Let's go for Q&A, then we can move to the slides.
There's 5 questions in the chat, Varun.
Yeah. So first question, how can I do better guest posting and get traffic? Is it free? How can I find best keywords for voice search? So Lauren, do you want to answer?
Let me
Or let me just do that.
how can I do better guest posting to get traffic?
Yeah, so let me answer, then you can add probably on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's like you should always find out the maybe I will say there's a lot of authority people on this space. For example, if on CBD you can find maybe celebrities or people who are very popular on the subject, and you can always email them to be a guest or maybe on posting. So it's like you create a content, you can always maybe email, and you can just ask them to write a guest post for yourself, and they share it on their channels. It's always free, and there are also paid channels. So like there's a free and paid both, but I think you should start with the free initially, and then you can move to the paid ones. And best keywords for voice search, I think this is something you can go to the there's a search console, and you can see if you can find the question based keyword searches. All question based keyword searches are basically voice searches. You can also go to the SEMrush, and there is also a tab where it shows that question based keywords and the search volume. If you put the website or topic on that, we have done this in detail in the last webinar. Please go to the last webinar and see that, so that you can understand a better way.
Varun, I'll just add to the first question about the guest posting for David. I would recommend, if you follow anybody yourself online, reach out to that person and ask them to be a guest. Sometimes the things that are the most obvious we don't think about is if there's an online person who has and that you follow them, I would go ahead and ask them if you can be a guest.
Absolutely, Lauren.
Yeah.
So second question is like, what percentage of the leads generated through these activities gets converted into real buyers or customers? So that's very good question, because this is part of the tracking. So as I think we talked in the previous slides, like this is part of the like setting up the right kind of like a KPI, and when you set up those KPIs, you can track these goals. So maybe it's like when you say that how many leads are converting into that. Maybe this is something I think we can see here. So when you set up a goal, like traffic coming from the Google organic, and how many people are going to the so you set up a goal for how many people are going to the product pages, how many people are going to the add to cart, how many going to the checkout, so that you would know exactly that okay, which source has how many goals and how many people are completing that goal. So it will be trackable, so that you can track the performance properly.
And David has another question. What channel should I use to generate more sales to the website, organic or paid?
So I think both are important, but I think organic is a long term, and paid is like a there's a low hanging fruit, and you can always maybe get that easily in a short period of time. It's a like a so both are important. And when you are not ranking on the organic, you should use those search queries for the paid campaign, and maybe get those low hanging fruits and increase the revenue. But when you start ranking on organic terms, maybe in 3 or 6 months of time, maybe you can reduce those from the paid campaign and get that traffic from the organic campaigns, and increase more such queries on the paid ones. So both the strategies are very important. We talked about organic in this webinar. We'll talk about the paid in the next one. So please be there so that we can see that how that is relevant for the generation of lead gen and revenue.
So, D'Angelo Thurman, thank you. Very good information, especially for those of us starting in the industry. Thank you, D'Angelo.
Yeah, and then there's a Dawn. She's asking about, is it allowed to advertise CBD on Facebook and Insta? I've heard no on ingestibles or with any product with CBD on the label, but I am seeing advertisements everywhere. So yes, Dawn. So that is a very gray area. This is not, Facebook does not allow to advertise CBD on Facebook and Insta, but there are ways which can be used to advertise, and we're also doing it for our clients. So if you can, maybe if you have some time, please reach out to us. We can talk about it maybe on a separate call in detail, that how you can advertise if you have CBD products, and then probably you can try this out. Then there's one more question from Hemp Stuff Training. Any free tools similar to AHREFs? Yeah, so you can use free tools. I talked about like Google Keyword Planner. There's a free tool, Google Search Console, and Google Analytics, and so we use those tools. They're also free tools, and there are other free tools as well that can be found. Maybe so maybe SEMrush is not free, but I think if you want to use it, there are a lot of ways you can get a lot of trial for that, and maybe use that as a initial way to analyze. And if you feel that it is helpful, maybe you go for the subscriptions in that way. And there's a SpyFu. SpyFu is also a good tool if you want to use it, like AHREF. It will also give you a lot of intelligence on your website, on search queries and everything. So that's it from everyone, I guess. So these are some of the client testimonials that we have got from our clients we are working with. And you can always go to my LinkedIn to check more. There are some examples of our clients we are working with, some of the logos, and we are helping them to establish their digital presence. This is the information that you can use to reach out to us, and we can talk in detail in case you have any queries. And
thank you, everyone, for participating today. I know Varun said this earlier, but the recording and the slides will be available on our website in a couple of days. It takes